Hey, I'm Tom Greenwood. This is Everyman Carpenter YouTube channel. A friend of mine asked me for a video about what I'm doing on this house. So Jason, here you are, man. This one's for you, bud. So anyway, what we have here is the floor in the house had sunk. The house is actually sunk down on this corner. And what we're doing is we are putting a poured wall underneath here, and then we're going to come around here. So some of the stuff that's going on. This wall, you can see this window here. This wall actually sits on a poured curb, and that curb sits on a slab, and that slab shoots out about 8 or 10 feet. So that slab runs from the corner all the way here, and then there's a break, right? So we see this break in the wall, and turn this fan off so you guys can hear. As you can see, they poured another slab, but that slab's only about, I don't know, 3 by 3 or something like that, so it's not doing any work. But it sits far enough outside the wall that we can actually put our footer in and pour a stem wall. So I'll talk about that stem wall when I do it, but Jason wanted to know kind of how I'm supporting the house. So as you can see, I have a pier here and a pier here, and then there's matching piers outside, and I'll go outside in a second. And what I have is 6-inch angle steel, right? So this is some stuff I got at the scrapyard at 6 by 6. I don't know what the actual load bearing capacity on is, but it's pretty freaking high. So that's the inside. So let's get outside, right? Boom. So step outside and try not to scrape my back on anything. Sorry guys, this one's on the cuff. So anyway, as you can see, we're outside, and I have these piers here, 1, 2, again, and that angle steel that's running inside. And I have these screw jacks, right? So these are like old antique railroad jacks or something. And basically what I'm doing is I used them to screw up. And I have a piece of angle steel here. You can see that angle steel, right? These are GRKs. These are 3s or 4 inches, or I think, something like that. Anyway, so what I did is, let me step back. On every single stud in the wall, we set the angle steel, we drilled a hole through it, and then we set 2 GRKs, 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, however many studs there are, boom, running all the way along, right? So that comes out here, and what I did is I built a 2x2 pad out of dunnage, and that thing's 2x4, 2x4, sandwiched in between it is plywood, right? So I have some dunnage stacked underneath it and a jack. Turns out I don't need to lift it, and then what's going on is we step all the way back. I took a piece of angle steel and we ran it wild. We thought we were gonna have to jack outside the house, but we were lucky. We ran it in, and it's into the top plate of that window, the header, excuse me, and all the studs in the wall. So it's holding the corner of this house right here where there's no foundation underneath it. Boom. And I have taken 1, 2, you can see them, 1, 2 studs, runs up there from that plate all the way down into the steel down below. And as you can see, there's nothing there. It's absolutely floating, right? So there's nothing there. So what we did is we have this wall supported here, basically from where we know that there is good concrete and everything like that. That's screwed in, 2, 4, 6, 8, however many GRKs screwed in the top of there. That doubled up 2x4 is carrying load all the way down into our beam, okay? And that beam is running all the way along this wall that's unsupported right now. And those those GRKs have like a, I don't know, something crazy like a 1,500 pound shear. So they're pretty strong. We have 2 of them in there. So there's, you know, probably 5 or 10 tons of holding capacity in that wall going on right now just by those screws alone. And what that'll do is it allowed us to dig out in there, excavate everything. It allowed us to dig down our holes, and this steel allowed us to span the width of our hole where our footer is going to go. So right now we have the metal in there. We have rebar in the hole right now, and we're going to do cross ties and tie all the rebar together, and then form up to be able to pour a concrete wall that goes around all the way and supports everything real good. So that's basically what we're doing, is we ripped out all the crap that was in there, dug out the entire room, threw it out, threw all that stuff in that dumpster. Hope they come and get it soon. We have the wall supported by those pads, 1, 2, 3, 4, steel across the pads, jacks holding up the steel, GRKs, big fat GRKs, 5/16 or 3/8 or something like that, that hold about 1,500 pounds a piece. So there's just some crazy amount of holding power in there. We have 1, 2, 3 pads that's holding the house up. We have doubled up 2x4 that's holding that plate that's on the front, and then that plate is running 6 feet, 5 or 6 feet inside the interior of the wall. So where it terminates, there's a 6x6 wall that's sitting on good concrete, and that's how it's all put together. And that's what we're doing to hold this house in place. And then we're going to come back, pour our footer and our stem wall all in one shot, and then we're going to build everything in. I'll show you when we get the concrete. Before we pour the concrete, I'll show you guys how I tied the rebar together, and then I'll show you my forming. And then when we rip the forms off, maybe I'll get some shots of the concrete after that, and then how the all wall got put together. Anyway, Jason, I hope that helps. I appreciate the questions. As always, guys, if you got questions, shoot me a note. I'll be happy to answer if I can. Anyway, hope this guy helps you guys. And so this is the way that I am holding a house up right now, so that I can put a foundation underneath it. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the summer. It is freaking hot. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys then. I hope you're having a great one. And yeah, be safe out there, stay hydrated, all the good stuff. All right, bye guys.